Hello and welcome to the Mesa Thoughts podcast, available on MSP Waves and the YouTubers and Vim. I'm a pig, and with me is, as always,
Trey50Daniel.
What up? What up?
What's up?
Not much, dude. I've been fucking like, you know, today I've just been purely being a lazy cunt. Did nothing productive, just laid on the couch watching streams and YouTube videos, and that was about it.
Yeah.
It's partly fault because of like heavy drinking. I keep trying to like wanting to just sort of chill with a couple of glasses of wine and shit. But dude, once the fucking cork is popped, there's no stopping this fucking fountain, dude.
Just go straight down to the bottom.
Yeah. It just keeps on going. It's either pass out or running out of it. It's either one or the other. So
Oh, man.
yeah, and ends up fucking me up. But yeah.
Do you do the like I've heard of people doing stuff like afterwards, like, you know, to get rid of the hangover? Do you do any of that stuff, or do you just kind of like let it go?
No, because I get so fucked up by the like after like 4, 5, 6 hours, because I don't even remember that shit. I should do that. I should drink water before going to bed. I should drink water while I'm drinking wine, or any booze for that matter.
Yeah.
But I just don't. You know, I'm drinking the shit already, dude. Why should I drink water? This is watery enough. But it's really not watery enough. It's actually fucking messing you up. It's actually... alcohol is dehydrating as shit. But that's just me, dude. I'm a reckless, mentally ill motherfucker. What can we do? Yeah. You know, that's how it is. How are you doing, man? How you been?
Well, you know, it's been a long week for me. There was I think I remember, you know, whenever we played some games on your stream together, there was a lot of craziness going on with like my wife's brother. He's a nut job. He gets himself in these situations like where because he's dumb. Like he met this chick online, and he basically had her move in within like a week. Then she lived there for a while, and then she was just using him for a house. That's all it was. And
that
so
sucks.
she had her ex-boyfriend come over there, and there was a whole drama about it. And like he came over here and stayed the night one night just to get away from all that craziness. It was stupid. The like ex-boyfriend was like a violent dude. Apparently he got out of jail, so you know that was he was in a gang. Yeah, you know, so you know, crazy stuff, just stupid stuff that should be avoided, but they just I don't
hey
know,
man,
it's just dumb.
Part of life. It's part of life. It does suck.
Well,
but you gotta go through it. If anything, it's something that gives you character, to be honest.
Well, you'd think he'd have character after already having
no,
same problem.
You, because after like going through that shit, it builds character for you. Yeah. Oh no, there's some people that are like, I mean, I don't know the guy, so I don't want to be like, oh yeah, he's a fucking doomed or whatever. But as someone who's, I mean, honestly, I was like a fucking piece of shit when I was a kid, even more than I am today, because I actually fucking robbed shit and stuff when I was a teenager. I'm actually tame as fuck as I got older, but yeah, I don't think anyone's doomed. It's just depends on like if there's like social interaction, is like social acceptance and stuff like that. I think people have a way to sort of return to normalcy, I guess.
The problem with him is he's older than me, so and he clearly, he has one child by his first wife. He just divorced her, and
God damn,
he
that family just fucking bunnies, dude. Holy shit.
wait, what do you
You guys
mean?
procreate like hell. Holy fuck.
Well, he just has he just has the one daughter, but he's older than me, and what it is he's one of those guys that's like afraid of ending up alone or whatever, and so
Oh,
he
okay.
was just like trying to find, he was desperate for any chick to give him attention, and
Mm,
then he got his first wife, like his first wife was basically abusive to the daughter, abusive to him. They always got into spats. She would she would get wasted and do all kinds of crazy stuff. And then she would go
relatable.
hook up with guys. Well, she
Not
would go hook up
relatable
with other
anymore.
guys. Like
Only
she
the
would just
getting wasted part. Just want to make that clear.
yeah.
Nothing wrong
um
if the other part was relatable. I'm just saying it's not relatable to me.
Yeah, but she would go and she would like rent a hotel with his money, and then like hook up with some other dude and stuff like that. And
Oh, dude,
he
that's
just he's so dumb that he would be like forgive her because he didn't want to deal with the divorce and all this stuff. Like, nah, man, like you gotta cut that like off.
yeah.
There's like,
That'd be fucking like that would only happen once for me.
especially when she was doing it on the she's doing it on like the weekly, like once a week she would rent a motel, and she would be over there with some guy, and then he goes and he finds this random chick who has like an ex-boyfriend who's in jail or whatever, and then he's like, oh yeah, totally, she's got like 5 kids, and he let her move in with her 5 kids, and like, you idiot, that was a red flag. But
Yeah.
some people like they want to learn everything the hard way, like the most difficult way. I don't get it.
I mean, it's how life is sometimes, dude. That's how life is sometimes. Um, yeah. I can, again, that's something I can relate to. You know. Um, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Uh,
but like it was just funny how he was, he was all upset about it, and then he got my wife upset, and because he's calling her and saying all these things, like he might, like he kind of just wants to end himself and making all these comments about this kind of stuff. Really, he's fishing for sympathy, I think. I know he could actually be in a state like that because there's a lot of stuff. But I do think that he wants people to be sympathetic towards him, and that's a way that he's using to get people to show sympathy when he says,
mm,
like, hey, I'm gonna off myself, right? But
right.
just crazy situation. He got everybody, in a uproar, just kind of, it got everybody going wild over here, and just like, dude, this isn't even this is like an hour away from me. Like, I shouldn't having to deal with all the madness, but it is what it is. Life, family.
Yeah. I mean, I can sympathize. I don't know what family bullshit is for like a very long time, but I can sympathize with the bullshit. Um, yeah, dude, people are people. People are fucking
Yeah.
complicated. There's no linearity to people at all whatsoever. So it's just how it is. It's just how it is. We just gotta push through it and learn from it. And I believe that it does build character. I think bullshit in our life, our lives builds character and stuff. So yeah. Yeah, that's true. Like, to take time for yourself, like Gabriel saying, take time for yourself and find out what makes you happy. And yeah, that's true. Agree.
Yeah. It's one of those things where I really just need to get to the point where I can let myself do that. something like I would really like to just be able to take some days, take days off of stuff and not deal with anything. But I kind of have to. I don't get a bunch of time off with my current work, which is not necessarily bad because the pay is decent. But like I get the weekends off, and then I get I get some days allocated, but I don't. They're not. It's not a lot, and I already had to take some time because our kid was born. So
yeah, you gave away your vacation rights when you had 2 kids, dude.
Yeah,
that's not on. It's pretty much on you.
Yeah, that's completely, and that's all it goes to. Like I can't take the days just like, hey, like to go chill. Oh, I think
yeah. Well, I mean, when they get older, you'll be able to like.
Yeah. Then I'll have a lot of free time that I'll probably be like I won't know what to do with. Let me go check on them.
Okay.
BRB guys.
Right. So he's checking on food or something, like some delivery thing. So I'm gonna be on my own here for a little bit. So yeah, I know sucks. Fucking alone time with Pig. I know that's fucking bullshit, but it is what it is. I'm just taking a gander here at the Morning Brew website. Let me just check. Okay, I did do that. So apparently Gucci's gonna start accepting crypto in stores. So I mean, yo, dude, that's fucking awesome, right? Because I think all of us buy Gucci clothes here. It's actually my favorite brand. Gabe should go on with me. I mean, if he wants to, he's free to come in and whisper sweet nothingness on my ears. Why did I say nothingness? I meant lullabies or whatever. Yeah. Feel free, Gabriel. But yeah, there you go. Like Gucci's gonna start accepting crypto in stores. Amazing shit. I think they also have like a bunch of stupid shit on fucking decentralized fucking, what is it, Decentraland or whatever the fuck. I started getting this ad on Twitch all over the place. Almost every stream I was joining, there was this fucking ad saying fucking beer or whatever the fuck on Decentraland. And I was like, what? What am I gonna do with beer through my computer? Am I gonna be able to like drink that? Can I taste that? What am I gonna do with that shit? Huh? Print it and shove it up my ass? What am I gonna do with fucking digital beer? It does nothing for me, dude. Is there like a USB I can fucking like, make a hole in my body, shove the USB in there, and like all of a sudden I'm drunk? I don't understand what this is about. Was it Carlsberg? Beer in Decentraland. I don't man. I just started seeing that ad and I was like, Heineken, yeah. Fucking Heineken. Of all beers, fucking Heineken. Just dog shit, to be honest. Fuck. Oh my god, dude. I don't know if this is like a satire fucking website or parody website or whatever for news, but even Heineken thinks its new metaverse beer is a dumb publicity stunt. Yeah, it is.
Digital wait, what? Digital beer?
Yeah, dude, did you not get these advertisings on Twitch? Because I get it all the time for Heineken beer on Decentraland, and I was like, what am I gonna do with decentralized fucking digital beer? Well, am I gonna print it and shove it up my ass with a fucking cone or some shit? Like, what am I gonna do with this? So Heineken wants to have its metaverse beer and drink it too. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna say. In fucking Second Life, okay, there's always been like this shit with beer and alcohol where you can just basically put your avatar with like holding a beer bottle or holding a fucking whiskey bottle, Jack Daniel, whatever. And I always thought that shit was so fucking weird, dude. Because like everyone's sort of like just pretending to drink and stuff, but then they're like not really drinking anything. They're just sitting in front of their computers doing nothing. And I'm like, I found that shit so fucking cringy, like literally 10, 15 years ago. And yet here we are still doing it and even pushing it through Twitch and stuff.
Here's what, Ron, you're wrong though. You have to get the 5G. Like you need to commune with the 5G towers, and then the digital beer will flow through. Flow through your veins. It'll basically be directly injected into your veins from the 5G towers. That's actually what's gonna happen.
I think what you need to do is you need to soak yourself in water, and then you need to go fucking like see if an electrical panel is working properly on one of those 5G
and then
towers.
Stick your finger in the socket. Yeah.
No, just go next, just soaked in water, completely soaked in water. Go next to the fucking electric panel and just like move your hands around the electric panel, and you see like try to, I don't know, fucking Dragon Ball chi whatever, like try to see if everything is functioning properly. And if you can't feel anything, like literally touch the electric panel. I don't know, man. This is so dumb. So fucking dumb. But they like, I opened this thing. So our virtual beer is made only from the freshest pixels. No malt, no hops, no yeast, no water, and also no beer. The company explains. The result, an unusual and inaccessible premium lager with a tech and meta finish that no one can enjoy. Great. So, stupid. In fact, you can't do much of anything of substance at the company's new digital brewery located in the Central Land, also unveiled Thursday, other than wander around and watch a boring executive talk. But you can, with the help of Heineken's marketing department, snap and then share some screenshots with the cool and relevant hashtag awesome Heineken marketing stunt. Who the fuck is thinking of this shit, dude? Are these fucking school dropouts?
It's Zoomers that get to run the marketing department.
Like, who the fuck even thinks this shit is like interesting or funny or whatever the fuck? Like, what a fucking bunch of morons, dude. Like, holy shit, I mean, man.
Is anybody even using Facebook's metaverse? Like, I don't even think anybody is. Like,
I'm pretty sure there's some like boomers and children that use that shit, which is actually really fucking weird because
yeah, the boomers and the children.
Yeah, that's, you know what, yeah, that's the thing I was thinking about earlier, like fucking watching streams and shit. And I was in my mind, I was like, man, this is one of the things I hate about the fucking internet. It's the fact that like you can have children talk to boomers and adults. It doesn't have to be boomers, but it could be adults. And you don't even know that this is a thing. You don't even know who the fuck you're talking to or who is on the other side.
Why they're there. Like there's no yeah, I mean, there's no.
My point is, there's a lot of things that like maybe a 30-year-old says that feels like it's a fucking thing that a 12-year-old would say, and then there's other things that like it's 12-year-olds saying that, and then through like just a fucking made up username, sometimes you can't really tell. You don't know for sure who the fuck is on the other side, and right. I don't like that. I don't fucking like that. I get that it's like, yeah, dude, fucking anonymity and shit, like so cool. I like anonymity, but I don't like this kind of anonymity. I like, dude, in real life, if you were like a fucking 40-year-old guy and you approached a kid to talk to them, that shit would be pretty fucking weird, man. It should be like, yeah, something's going on there. Unless they're like, you know, family or some shit. So that would make kind of sense. But besides that, it's just like, yeah, what is going on, you know?
Well, or like a mentor. I mean, they're like, if you're a coach, like if you're coaching somebody doing something, then, you know, something like that. But there has to be some purpose, the reason that you would be talking to them, right? I mean, like it would be something legitimate, you know, like some legitimate, like, hey, I'm teaching this kid how to play a sport, or I'm teaching a kid how do this certain hobby or something like that, like just something that you would be instructing them, not like a obviously like not like a predator, like I'm looking for kids, here's the van, hop in.
It's just like when I'm on the internet and I'm talking to someone, I wish I knew at least their fucking age, so that I could make a decision on whether I want to continue to talk to them or not. Because like the problem is there's a lot of fucking 15, 16, 17-year-olds out there in the freaking Facebooks, or not Facebooks, because I haven't used that in 2 years, but fucking
on Twitter and
Twitter, YouTube, Twitch and shit like that. There's a lot of them who fucking talk to you. They're like 16, like half your fucking age, and they talk to you like they fucking know everything about the goddamn fucking world and the whole goddamn fucking existence. Like, motherfucker, you're not even 20 years old. You haven't even lived a fucking quarter of your life yet. Shut the fuck up. Just because you were fucking born in an age where you can just Google everything and you're gonna have like a lot of fucking false information being shoved in your ass, doesn't fucking mean you know everything about everything, dude. You gotta live life to fucking get experience. That's how fucking it works with video games and shit, you know? You get to a point after going through certain things and you gain experience, and then you get levels and you get new shit. So it's basically just like, it's literally just like life works. And it just pisses me off because like they don't respect people anymore. When I was a kid, there was like, when I was a kid, if you disrespected someone that was like 3, 4, 5 years older than you, let alone like more than that, you get fucking beat up right there and then. And then if you went crying to the cops, they just fucking laugh at your ass. Like, yo, deal with it, bitch. Why are you not dealing with it? So it's like, man, I don't want to be part of this shit, man. It pisses me off. Cause I like, if I had the chance of fucking like, why are you talking to me like that? You fucking little shit. Fucking beat you up, kid. So it's just annoying. I wish I had like, wish there was like age showing. Oh, here's this guy's age, that guy's age, etc., etc. So yeah. But you know,
sorry, I had to solve a crisis. But yeah, so that makes me think about like what do you think about the proposal that, like, I mean, I know you're not an Elon Musk fan, but of the new Twitter, of him saying that he wants to make sure that people are authentic, like users, getting rid of like spam and bots and stuff. So like having actual people and like authenticating people, maybe even giving people like a verified check, even though they're not like a celebrity.
So first of all, I barely use Twitter. Second of all, I don't give a shit about Twitter. I think it's a cesspool of shit. Where a lot of motherfuckers who have literally zero fucking idea of how life works and shit, they're raising these cocoons of fucking safety and comfortability, and then they come on the internet and they think they fucking know shit about the world, and they think they know struggles and stuff like that. The thing is, when you've never struggled your life or properly fucking struggled your life, yes, you're gonna fucking find anything a struggle, you know. If the fucking light switch doesn't work, that's gonna be a massive fucking struggle. But is it though? Not really. You're just a fucking pussy. So you think anything is a fucking struggle. Yeah. So, yeah, that's a majority, I feel like, of the Twitter population. I literally, like, I was watching this dude's video, like, I think 2 days ago or something. And it's this guy on Omegle, and it just finds, like, he's also Gen Z, but he just finds these kids, and he's like, so are you towards BLM? And this kid's like, oh yeah, I love BLM. Or no, first of all, yeah. It was like, are you supporting Ukraine? And she's like, yeah. And then it's like, are you supporting Russia?
Of course.
No. And then, but why? And then she goes, I'm not really sure what's happening with them, but I'm supportive of Ukraine.
I just hear on the
Yeah.
Twitters
So
that people.
it's just go with the fucking bandwagon, go with the trend, whatever is the thing that's trending and the majority of people lean onto. You know what I mean? That's not how you develop intelligence. Like most of these kids have no fucking self-confidence to make their own decisions. That's why you have so many of these motherfuckers going on YouTube like to find reviews and shit like that. And there's honestly there's nothing wrong with checking reviews to see whether or not you should pick up a game. There's nothing wrong with that. But at the end of the day, you should make a decision from your own like basis. You should be sitting there and be like, do I think this game would be a good time for me? And if there's not like a massive amount of technical issues with the game, then why shouldn't you pick it up? If the if the general thing about that product not doesn't have to be a game, but like if the general sort of consensus about that product works for you, why shouldn't you pick it up? You know, why do you have to always trust these guys? That's why I liked Cynical Brit or Total Biscuit.
Yeah.
Because he was really like honest about his shit and very like straight to the point, concise, and didn't fucking go like, yeah, you pay me $10,000 and I'm gonna fucking promote the shit out of your game and it's gonna be a great game. No, your game's shit. I'm gonna say it's shit. That's fucking integrity. You know, period. And you gotta really appreciate that kind of stuff and people like that because they're getting very rare these days.
Yeah, and I mean, you see some development in some people who like they, even if they have that trait, they develop backwards. I mean, and that was a problem a little bit with the how Total Biscuit acted like later on, you know. But you know, it is what it is. You know, people grow and develop, and their circle changes, and a lot of their values may change. So they may sound, you know, say they may you know have different perspectives at any time, but the big thing, like you said, is that there a lot of people from like our generation, I guess, would be at least capable of being more analytical about it instead of in like being introspective about it to be able to think
Honestly, dude,
for themselves. But now people, what people do nowadays is they outsource it to the hive mind, and it literally is like a hive mind of like, oh, you know, the recent topic like in America, okay. I don't know if you saw it. There's discussions about potentially limiting like the not necessarily doing it limiting the abortions themselves, but allowing each state to decide how you know abortion is handled, and that would return it to each individual state and let you know, like my state has strict laws on abortion and some other states have like you know, really lax laws, like where you can get an abortion, like basically like as the kid is being born, you can abort it, which is nuts to me, but that they allow that, you know, and that's each state can do that. But there are people who are just going there and they're like, oh, they just everybody's not going to be able to get any abortion and all this stuff. There's all kinds of like mad headlines in the hive mind of people are just like going into one particular thing, and they didn't even read the fact that like, hey, if you live in a state that allows it, then it doesn't matter, it doesn't affect you. Like they
yeah,
just get
honestly,
outraged for no reason.
I don't even, I'm not even gonna defend ever our generation anymore because honestly, dude, our generation is the reason why Zoomers are the way they are. Because our generation is technical. Well, yeah, yeah.
See, I think the boomer like I don't think
it's both the boomers,
blame
the 40-year-olds that nowadays, and like, but it's 30 to 40-year-olds that ruined this fucking shit, man. That ruined that generation because they're the like. Our generation is essentially the generation of teachers and shit that went like, so we should give everybody a participation trophy because competition is toxic and it's going to promote violence and the really negative behaviors. And I'm like, shut the fuck up, you dumb fucking dipshit. No, it's not. it promotes fucking getting better at something, and it promotes fucking making yourself improve yourself. That's good. It's not bad. How is that shit bad? You know, there's always going to be one on top, and there's always going to be one on the bottom. And if there's no one on top, then there's no one on the bottom, and no one's going to have to improve to get to the top. Does that make sense?
Well, and like you can't, there's like, especially in a lot of things nowadays, you know, people would be okay with getting, like, people are okay getting third place. Like, everybody's okay with getting third. Like, oh yeah, I got third place, that's fine. But you know, it used to be like, hey, I got third, this is trash. You know, like kind of like the Ricky Bobby mentality of like, if you ain't first, you're last. You know, like that used to be the mentality. But a lot of people now just like, I'm third place, that's it, or like even fourth place. They're like, hey, I got top 5. It's like, come on, man. Like, you know, I graduated third in my class, and I was mad as hell about it. You know, like in high school, and I was like, why am I third? I should have been first. Like, I was mad. I should have done better. You know, and that was the mentality that I had. But I could see even among my classmates, a lot of people would get bare minimum, and then they would be like, okay, now I can like foot off the gas, you know, like just let up. But I was like, no, I'm going. Like, I'm all in. I think that's what separated me at that point, because I was just like, no, A or nothing. Like, and I mean, some people don't like do that about school, but I mean, there's something out there that somebody has to be like, okay, I'm going for this, and it's going to be all or nothing. And that's whenever you actually can really push yourself to the limit.
Yeah, competition is healthy as fuck. It's not only healthy, it's necessary for the progression in the evolution of the human race. It's not only for that, but also like, if you're not okay with something, it's okay to say that you're not okay with something, unless it's like stupid and it's like you have no fundamental opinions on something. Like, basically, I'm forgetting the word now, but you need to basically just have an opinion that has essence to it, rather than just like, oh, that shit sucks because I don't like it. Okay, you don't like it doesn't mean it sucks.
It's like having a baseline set of beliefs. You know, like if you don't have a baseline for what you believe and what your value system, it's like a moral system. Like, if you don't have a moral system or a value system, then that's where you get into trouble. Because if you have no morals or you have no values, then everything that you do is just to the whim of whatever is going to be the popular thing. And I think that's what a lot of people have nowadays. They don't have any moral, ethical, or like, I guess it's more of an ethical system. Like, and if you have an ethics system in place for yourself, then essentially you will develop some sort of set of values that will align with the ethics that you believe.
Yeah. Again, it's a part of life to be taught that kind of shit. That's why a lot of kids need discipline, so that they know how to determine what's right and what's wrong from a young age. And kids are fucking tough, man. You know, I remember like being a kid, and I fell off the fucking staircase so many times, because I live on a first floor, and it's like a building that has like 4 houses, but it's like it's 4 houses together, like apartments, but it's 4 full houses. And I live in the first floor left side of it, and there's 4 backyards as well. And on the fucking staircase to the backyard, I fell so many fucking times down the staircase. It was crazy. And I'm still here, you know? I'm still here. Probably my brain's not kind of like mushed and stuff, but I'm still here. I'm still alive and still living. don't think that really like damaged me that much. But what I'm saying is, kids are tough. Kids are fucking tough, and kids are not like this fucking
like frail flower.
Yeah,
like
that you have to like keep them inside a cocoon until they fucking blossom and become adults. Nah, man, let them learn by themselves. Fucking let them get hurt and shit. Don't let them like, you know, put their hands underneath like a butcher knife.
In the socket,
you know?
Yeah, don't put their hands on the stove and burn their hand or something.
Yeah, there's literally a dude who lives in my town. He's my age, he's from 91 as well, or 92, I think. And he was run over by a truck at some point. He lived, he's fine, you know, he's healthy, way more healthy than I am. But there you go. You know what I mean? Not saying that kids should be run over by trucks, but I'm just saying that that particular
like
one
automatic.
Survived and is healthy these days. So my whole this whole tangent to basically point the fact that like kids don't have to be brought up, raised like they're freaking very fragile creatures that like, oh my god, you know, babies are fragile as shit, I think. But when kids start to grow up and stuff, they have like, they're like, dude, that's why when I was younger, I could drink, fucking wake up next day, and I was fine. Like, dude, nothing was wrong. Nowadays, I'm old and shit. Of course, like, because I did a lot of that when I was a kid, when I was younger. Obviously, it sort of leads your body to not generate as many regeneration cells or whatever the fuck. I'm not a biologist. I'm not a biologist. But yeah, like, so, you know, it's,
yeah, I mean, like, that's why I think like our drinking age is a little bit higher, but I mean, we should probably lower it to 18. But I mean,
kids will drink anyways. No, that's my that's not my point, dude. That's besides the point. Kids will drink anyways.
Oh yeah, I know our guys, like the football players at our high school, they would always talk about like, hey, like we went out to the like bonfire out in the middle of you know, the woods or whatever, and we made a bonfire. We were out there drinking, you know, and stuff like that. And
as a matter of fact, I think it's good that you have like the minimum age be the age of 21, rather than like we had the minimum age was 16. When I started like when I started drinking, I was 12 years old. Well, when I mean taking drinks, not like
sips of it. Or
no, getting drunk, like actually getting drunk, but not like drunk like I do these days.
Not plastered.
Yeah, just getting buzzed, basically. Just drink a couple of beers and stuff, get buzzed, go home, boom. That's that kind of thing. But during that time, the minimum age for drinking here was 16 years old. And until I was 16 years old, when I went to the bar and shit, the bar owner knew me, so he would refuse to sell me beer or any kind of alcohol. I still got it anyways, but because I asked other people and whatnot. But my point is, it's gonna happen anyways. But I think 16 is like super young. Because at 16 you're kind of like still stupid and shit. So I think like 18 to 21 is like a good it's like a good sort of way, or
buffer,
like a good buffer standing, I guess, because they're gonna do it anyways. But if they're like, the thing is, if they're caught and they're legal, no one's gonna give a shit unless they're like fucking plastered and completely like destroyed. But if it's illegal, and
even then they might not here in America.
Yeah, well, they probably will though.
As long, it depends on the situation. Like some situations they can, and so other situations, you know, obviously not.
Yeah, but it's just, you know, there's just that leverage that if it happens, in case they're caught drinking, being minors and stuff, they might, I'm not saying they have to be jailed or anything, but I'm just saying like they have to be reprimanded to an extent because they did something wrong. Whereas over here, like when we were 16, we were just like fucking going out, buying cigarettes, buying alcohol, like boo-hoo, fucking party life and shit, you know? And that's also like when I started getting my band life to have a little bit more kick to it. So it's started getting crazy. So, but yeah, point is, kids aren't that fragile. You want to like, you know, give them a little bit of a slap or something, go ahead, parents. Stop being fucking, like, discipline your kids so that they don't become fucking pieces of shit in the future that everyone wants to beat them up. Just wanted to get that on my chest.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Like, there's a lot of people who think that like it's like some kind of like cardinal sin, like if that you know, like to teach kids that the world is violent and that they need to be prepared to like deal with everything. You know? But I mean, obviously, there's some parents who go overboard, and that's why people, I think, freak out about that kind of stuff, you know, whatever. Like, I mean, people who actually like fully abuse kids, and that's where I think that's where the whole like fragile thing is. There were some kids who got abused. They grew up. They were like, "Hey, I don't want anybody to be able like." Instead of thinking like, "Hey, I'm not gonna abuse my kids," they thought like nobody can abuse their nobody can discipline their kids because I was disciplined and I was abused. You know, like they had some dad who would like actually like make their like legs bleed or something like that, like beating them and stuff like that.
There's a fine line between fucking disciplining your kids and beating them up. I mean, fucking hell. I'm not saying like, yo, go fucking, dismember your kids and throw them in the fucking pigsty. No, I'm not saying that. Just like a little slap, like that shit happened to me all the time when I was a teenager, man. Like I fucked up and then I got like disciplined with a little bit of a spank or something like that. Like a fucking hit on the back of the head. It wasn't like a slap on the face, just like a hit on the back of the head. Like, fucking kid, god damn it. It didn't.
Yeah, but I think that's why the kids, some people are think kids are so fragile though. Is that there were people like that who did really bad things, and then they were like, oh, instead of saying like, hey, I'm just not gonna raise my kids like that, they were like, no. All parents could be like this. Any parent, you don't want to be like this, do you? You don't want to.
Yeah, see, that's the kind of motherfucker that Twitter is filled with, and I don't like it.
Yeah, those are the Twitter, especially if they get a blue check mark, dude. Like if they get the blue check mark.
Oh, dude, when I fucking saw I actually saw a tweet by Musk saying like, let's make fucking Twitter fun again or some shit. And I was like, yeah. Okay. And then I commented on it saying like, is this the queue for the bathroom? Cause a very long queue. I don't know. I was just trying to be funny or some shit, but the amount of people asking for like, hey Elon, hi, can you give me the blue check mark? Hi, like they have like fucking 150 followers. Like, motherfucker, come on, man. Who the fuck are you? You know what I mean? Like, just
like
fucking reality check, please. But yeah,
it's funny. People really want the blue check mark, and then when they get it, they obviously say like every single blue check mark, pretty much except for like with a few exceptions. They'll say something really stupid. Just like
what the fuck does it like? Is that just so that they have validation? Is so that they have like, oh wow, this guy's a blue check mark, I'm gonna really take their opinion seriously. No, dude, if you have a fucking blue check mark, I don't give a shit about your opinion unless you like actually have some valid opinions. I'm sorry, I think for myself, wow, what a crime these days to not fucking be part of the bandwagons and have the fucking hive mind mentality. Ooh. Jeez.
Yes. Speaking of thinking for yourself, here in America, apparently we have so much misinformation going around on social media that they now needed to create an entire department dedicated to disinformation. Biden is creating one already.
I mean, you do have
He
a
literally,
fuck ton of misinformation, but Biden just
well, but
makes
it's from
fucking
our own
mistakes.
government. A lot of it's from our own government. That's the problem.
Oh, okay.
And yet we're gonna make a board to deal with our disinformation, like our misinformation from our
No,
own
no,
government.
no.
Like,
It's not just your government. We talked about this like I think last episode. It's or maybe like 2 episodes ago. And
mhm.
there's a lot of people who talk about shit that they have no fucking idea about. They just feel like they're
Yeah,
doing something right. They just feel like they're doing something positive for the world, etc., etc. Well, dude,
yeah,
if you don't know about something, don't fucking go on the internet and pretend like you know about it, like you're a fucking expert on the shit. Like, it's okay to have conversations between people. It's okay to like talk to each other and sort of like, you know, bring awareness to one another and stuff, you know. But if you're not you don't have to be an expert, but you don't, if you like, if you're someone who never heard about like the Ukraine and Russia situation, and then you go and like, oh my god, please support Ukraine, everybody, please donate to these TikTokers and stuff, please, like, oh my god, I'm so sorry for Ukraine's. Like, first of all, Ukraine's torment or situation is not doing anything for your life when you're like in you know, Central Europe or Western Europe rather, and well, like when you're in America or whatever. It's not going to really control anything unless you're like Ukrainian descent or some shit like that. It's not going to have any negative impact on your life. You know what I mean? I'm not saying you shouldn't be sympathetic for the situation, you know, because I think all of us are a little bit
well,
sympathetic with the situation. But at the end of
yeah,
the day, it's like, if you've never heard of the thing, don't act like you're some sort of like expert on it because you want to be seen as like this person who's like a saint. Oh my god, this guy likes he likes the people, and oh my god, they're such a saint. Like, I hate when people do that kind of shit, you know what I mean? Like, just be yourself,
well,
dude.
it's kind of like the meme that was being shared around, like a little bit ago. Like, you know, I support the current thing. Like, I support current thing, and I've, you know, I'm a really smart person. Like, that's essentially what a lot of people do, is they find the current thing and then they say, I support the current thing and I'm really smart. And
Yeah.
what it
Another
is
example,
is
for like, for instance, dude, sorry to cut you there, but like, another example
oh,
is a
you're good.
fucking Notre Dame situation when the Notre Dame
Hmm.
fucking cathedral started burning. The
Burned.
whole world was like, oh my god, no. Like, how is this affecting your fucking life, dude? It's not
Yeah,
in any
it's
way, shape, or form. So like, why are you pretending, you know, the whole
to
world, when
care.
like fucking
Yeah.
French flags on my bio and whatever, I support France. What are
Hmm.
you doing for supporting France exactly? Putting a fucking flag on your name? How are you supporting anything, really? You're not supporting shit, motherfucker. You're just changing your name so that you get validated because you're being part of something positive, which is not all bad. It's just the subconscious level of this shit. I don't even know what I'm saying here. I know what I'm saying, but I don't know how to articulate my words properly. But it's the deep rooted intention of why they do these things that piss me off. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, what I like to call them is they're people who are pseudo intellectuals, and if you know, if you understand data, like what pseudo means, it's they're fake smart people. That's all it is. They're pseudo
So they're
intellectuals. They're fake
idiots.
smart people. Yes, they're morons that want to appear smart, and there's a lot of them on the internet now, especially now that, you know, with way, you know, YouTube and social media, people will go on there and they'll be like, yeah, so especially like, you know, you know, I'm interested in stuff like stocks and, you know, crypto and stuff like that, and you'll have somebody be like, yo, bro, like, so I did the technical analysis, or I read the chart of Shiba Inu, and it's gonna be 200 times, you know, up next week. And I'm like, dude, you're just an idiot.
Yeah.
What do you have that?
Yeah, they have no idea what they're talking about for the most part. Let me see here, like what Gabe posted here from his diary from 2001 when he was 18 years old. All around me, bright colors specifically chosen to grab attention beckon me with all too real hues of yellow, red, blue. All are non-existent in nature. What kind of fucking place is this anyway? There's only trash everywhere. True. Trash via media, trash in the air, the water we drink, trash in what we read, trash, just fucking trash. Big heaps of crap, unscalable mountains of it. Here, there, absolutely fucking everywhere. Oh, so despondent. I am partial to sporadic bursts like the pain from a stamboon in a dark, punctured flash or extreme despondency. The previous paragraphs prove this point. Huh? Trash? What I once so vehemently spouted makes no sense to me, or at least it makes less sense. Yes, there's a lot of trash, but I can still live despite of it. I can still live in ignorance. Yeah, true, dude. Very true. I mean, it's just like a testament to how fucked up the world has always been. It's not really a thing from 2020, 2022, or 2001. It's just a thing from general. The world has always been a piece of shit because of humans, essentially.
Well, but there was a there was a different disparity between previous generations, and this is why, like, I think that the boomers are not the entire blame, but they're not without blame. And essentially, I wrote, you know, a little Substack article just because I was, you know, sometimes get, you know, the idea to write about something, and the idea that I was trying to get across is that a lot of people look at the boomer generation and think that, like, oh yeah, no, like, okay, boomer, and they just kind of meme on them, and they think that it's they're mad at the boomers, but they don't know why they're mad. And a lot of them may get mad like, hey, dad didn't, you know, just give me money, you know, or something like that, but or dad didn't give me everything that I want. But that's not the real thing. It's just that there was a lot of things that the boomers allowed that, you know, especially to permeate through like society, that they shouldn't have. Like, you know, boomers should have said, hey, this needs to, like, this kind of stuff needs to stop. Okay, like, hey, before we even got to like OnlyFans, there should have been like a, hey, guys, I know that there's gonna be, you know, this kind of, you know, markets for this kind of stuff, but we need to make sure that there's some way that these like, you know, 18-year-old girls are just going through there and doing that, and the guys should be aware enough not to be going on there and like, oh, I'm gonna go subscribe to her OnlyFans and pay $20 a month to get to see her nudie pics, you know, or something like that. Like, there should have been like a more of a cognizant, like, thought process for them to think about, like, hey, what is this going to look like in the future? And they just didn't do it. Like, they didn't think about, like, hey, how is this going to affect us in 10 years? They didn't think about it.
Right. I think, well, essentially, OnlyFans was supposed to be an alternative to Patreon, which nothing wrong with that. But I honestly don't know why fucking it became what it became, because Patreon also allowed for that shit. That Patreon went like, hey guys, you're posting too much fucking porn on our site. We need
And then
to
they went to
change the
OnlyFans.
pace.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't
that's-
remember anything saying like Patreon had to done this, but I don't know. But yeah, so OnlyFans was an alternative to Patreon, basically. That's all it was supposed to be. Just an alternative.
But I wasn't necessarily talking about that like as a particular case. What I was just meaning, like, is the boomers should have seen different, like, signs of things going on like this, you know, like, hey, like, kids are kind of like kids, you know, hooking up with everybody, you know, the whole hookup culture now, like, where someone will be like, yeah, bro, you know, like, I banged like 20 chicks, and like all of a sudden like 10 of them end up knocked up or something like that, like, really just trying to count how many
That's been
bodies
that's existed for centuries, man.
I mean, I don't think in the same way though. Like,
Well, the difference is that nowadays they do it through the fucking
maybe
phone and with Tinder and shit. Back then it was just like in the bars and stuff, but it always existed.
I don't think it existed to the same degree though.
It was even worse, dude. It was even worse. It was even fucking worse. Because back then it was a lot more difficult. Because more difficult to tell like how someone is and shit. So yeah, like these fuck boys basically just would be going to bars and stuff and picking up the girls and whatnot.
But I mean, like what I'm just saying is that they should have seen some of these problems and tried to find some way to leave the world in a better state than what they got it in. I don't know. That's just me looking at it, especially like my perspective now. You know, kind of seeing how they are. You know, like I want them to have a different world than what we have. That's a little bit better. And I'm not necessarily saying like, you know, like let's go ahead and like put the, you know, like put the cat back in, you know, put the thing back in the box, you know, like get the cat, put the cat back in the bag, I guess that's what I was trying to say.
Not to be negative,
like,
Nancy.
The cat's already out of the bag.
Yeah, it's only gonna get worse, to be honest. So I think like COVID fucking changed a lot of shit. As a matter, you know what? It's been an hour. Let's fucking talk. Like I actually wanted to talk about that. What the fuck happened to COVID? Did it?
Well,
did it fall? Has it fucking fallen off the trend or some shit? Like, is it not trending anymore to speak about COVID or anything? Like, why did everyone stop talking about it? It's just so weird. So they had like completely pushed up the people's fucking from their assholes to their throats this narrative of the vaccines and shit. Some people took it, others didn't, and now we're here. I didn't get anything, so I'm not gonna say like there was no viruses, because I know people who got the viruses and stuff, but I just find it weird that I didn't get fucking anything, you know. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I got COVID once, but it wasn't. I just felt tired. It was really mild. Like, I mean, it wasn't even as bad as the flu, but it was just because I think
could it possibly been a flu?
It could have been. I don't know, but I tested positive for COVID. That's
oh well, yeah. Who tested you though? You used one of those tests?
Well, actually, no. I don't even think I got tested. My wife and my son both got tested, and they were both positive. And I felt sick too. I didn't ever go because all they did is they didn't even give you anything. They just said go home. It's a virus. Like, you can't do anything. Like, but no, there's in our state there's nothing about it here, but there are some states in America, like if you're in California or in New York, they're still trying to say like, hey, if you go to work, you need to have had the jab, you need to make sure you wear 3 masks, you know, that kind of stuff. They're still doing that in like New York and California.
Yeah, it's just
but they
just find it
like
weird.
They're about to get. I think they're about to drop it. They're even about to drop it on planes. I think, like, where you don't have to wear a mask or anything too.
Yeah, I don't know. I started thinking about this. Just like, man, this was all over the world. Like, it was like the biggest fucking event in the world, and all of a sudden, it's just gone. What I mean gone, I mean gone like in general, like from the mass media, you know, like the moment the fucking truth started popping out that they were, you know, sort of messing with the numbers. So there wasn't as many cases as they actually shown or as they actually proved to be. The fucking numbers were sort of like manipulated. The truth was manipulated, etc., etc. All of a sudden, fucking fallen off to oblivion. Well, in a way, of course, from the mass media.
And even Pfizer, who's one of the biggest vaccine makers, they just got released a report about their vaccine, and it wasn't good. Nobody paid attention to it because nobody cares right now.
Oh,
it's because Americans.
It might not be because
American,
nobody cared. It might just be because no one pushed that shit. You know what I mean? It's just ever since I saw the fucking ever since I saw the thing with the Ghislaine Maxwell shit, these motherfuckers just run all the fucking the mass media outlets and stuff. I was just like, well, okay then. So yeah, there's a lot of these things. It's just like they don't really get pushed to us and whatnot. But yeah.
Oh, and you don't get the truth. Like even when it is pushed to you, you don't get the truth.
Yeah.
Like that was the big problem with a lot of the stuff surrounding it. The Pfizer just released basically like their vaccine is like only 20% effective at best, and it's just funny. And then the Johnson & Johnson vaccine is getting pulled, and they're saying like it's terrible. And I thought it was funny. If you looked at some of those tweets about the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, Twitter was flagging them as misinformation, even though it was straight from our FDA, which is our drug administration. So like whoever makes the pharmaceuticals have to get it approved with the FDA. So the FDA was saying like, hey, this is Johnson & Johnson. You shouldn't take the Johnson & Johnson vaccine anymore. And then all of a sudden, Twitter was flagging it as misinformation. Mm-hmm. It's official government source, and they're saying like Twitter's saying, hey, it's misinformation. Oh god.
Hello.
What up?
What's up, Gabriel?
Hey, sorry to jump in, but I just wanted to ask both of you guys a question. Have you heard that new Primus song and the film clip? Seen the film clip about conspiracy? I think it might be even called Conspiracy Theory.
Prime or Primus?
Primus, the guys that did like the South Park theme track.
Oh, you mean the band with Les Claypool?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. So I went to my friend's yesterday. He's like, have you heard that song? I'm like, no, I just heard, but it was like a QAnon conspiracy thing that makes fun of people who believe in all that. And he's like, what? You have to watch it. And I watched it and listened to it. And it doesn't even mention QAnon once. And it's a really fucking awesome song. And the film clip's really awesome. And it was kind of like the whole concept of the title being conspiracy theory was a conspiracy theory. So all the places where I got the idea not to watch it was like the mainstream media, the press here, the radio. They're like, Primus made a new song. Oh, it's just making fun of QAnon. And when I watched it, I'm like, wow, that's really great. Like at the end, they run through a list of all the conspiracies, and me and my friend are like going, yeah, I've heard of that one, not that one. Like 500 different conspiracies they list on the closing section of a video. And they didn't even mention QAnon once. And they get like gaslit that it's meant to be fun, making fun of QAnon. So that really blew my mind recently. I'm like, I never even thought about it. Like I automatically dismissed wanting to watch it just because it, got infected by that QAnon kind of like meme virus in a way. And that's the same thing with COVID. Like if it's not being pushed by like this global engine of mainstream media and social media, then it kind of dwindles. It's weird because here it's still every single day.
Well,
they'll talk about it.
It's the corporate press. Like the corporate press is essentially the bought and paid for press is being lobbied or laundered money or whatever you want to call it. Essentially paid off to do certain articles and incentivized to do certain topics. I mean, we've seen it, with the coverage of COVID, how CNN was saying, hey, but we're getting great ratings because we're keeping that ticker of how many people died from COVID up there. Yep, it's totally driving ratings. As long as we keep scaring these people, they keep coming back. I wonder why. And it was just that whole, basically they came out and masked off. Of course, in front of Project Veritas, which obviously Project Veritas is good at honeypot tactics, which is hilarious. I find it funny that these guys are just telling their open secrets to these random, I'm presuming, very good looking women. But it's hilarious how they can extract that information and essentially, take the mask off of these people who are saying like, hey, yeah, it's great ratings to talk about, all these people could be dying, and so it makes everybody really sad, and then they all of a sudden come back and watch us, and then we talk about Trump, and then they come back and watch us. It's great for ratings.
Mm.
All this abortion stuff, it literally happened the same day or a day after Pfizer had that latest batch of documents go through the FOIA request, the Freedom of Information release. And that batch is the one where it talked about how women shouldn't be pregnant when they take it and shouldn't breastfeed. So I found that such like a weird way to cover it up by like literally just blaring a different horn louder on the same issue. So, vaccines kill your babies, but you need to have the right to kill your baby. It's really twisted. And it's the same thing like with this Primus song. Like I was gaslit into not wanting to listen to it because of these sorts of headlines. And that took my attention away from the actual song. Like anyone can go and listen to it, but you're being given the opinions to try to change your mind before you find out for yourself. It really messed with me. I was pretty stoned at the time. And the film clip's awesome. I'm like, wow. This is what they're trying to hide. And, that's what the media is now. It actually is all disinfo or perception control. And I'm consciously trying to stay offline at the moment because there's just so much, there's so much going on. None of it's good.
Well, because I think knowing a little bit of Primus, it comes down to the fact that, like, they might try to sort of psychedelically paint this story, the illustration or whatever through the music, and still giving you some form of insight into this sort of stuff. I haven't seen this essentially, but it's like, given the title, is it like saying that like COVID was a conspiracy, or people are paranoid, or is it both?
It deals with the topic of conspiracies, conspiracy theories, how popular it's gotten, how it's all false, but it just presents it to you, and you kind of have to make up your own mind. It's really, really good. Like there's lots of layers to it. Like the fact that it was getting gaslit by QAnon as it came out, I think is a part of it too, because they're smart dudes. Like these are the dudes that made the opening track to South Park. So I've known Primus for ages, but I've never really listened to her music. I just know they do cool shit. So it blows my mind because that's when it really hit me how much I'm controlled even without even knowing.
But you're saying like, hey, they're like it's criticizing the conspiracy theorist when. I mean, to me, if you criticize conspiracy theorists on anything at this point, and with all the information that if you look at the real information, not what the media will tell you, if you look at the real information, and if you criticize most conspiracy theories, like most of the prevalent conspiracy theories, you're gonna like. You're just gonna look foolish like right now, because there's some of them that have literally been proven true. Okay.
They're all probably true, really.
Well, let's just take one recently. So the EU will never have an army. Like EU it will never have an army. But the conspiracy theory is EU wants to make an army. They want to be this force in basically become the United States of Europe. All this thing, and what do? They're wanting to create an army. It just came out with it, like, oh yeah, the EU wants to make an army. What about these guys that were talking about it 12 months ago, or a year ago, or even 2 years ago, maybe that the EU wanted to do that? And like you're calling them crazy. At this point, it's like, okay, you guys are the crazy ones for thinking that it wouldn't happen. I think, to me, the real skeptic in me says that you should always take all of them with a huge grain of salt, but definitely don't discount them. Don't discount any like quote unquote conspiracy, because they all could have some nugget of truth. There could be some aspect of it that is somewhat true.
Yeah. I think
totally.
I think that if it comes down to the fact that, like, you know, you have some dude who's been a crackhead for 20 years and they're trying to say this or that about aliens or something, that they saw aliens and stuff because they were high on ketamine or some shit like that. You know, it's a little, I don't know, I find that a little bit difficult to believe that, but you know, still, like, some of these people are just, they're sort of grabbing certain information they've gathered and they're just sort of promoting it and sharing it. And yeah, like you said, Trey, just take it with a massive grain of salt, but never disregarding it completely. I think that's.
I kind of want to. I want to propose something else. If the conspiracy theory did not lead to the eventual reality, which the conspiracy theory was trying to warn us about, maybe we wouldn't be able to accept that reality when it just came out of nowhere, out of the blue. So, like, a conspiracy theory getting memed into reality is a way for us to kind of, like, accept and go, fuck, that was true. Fuck. And then you kind of wonder, like, well, why is this happening? Like, why are we kind of being fed conspiracy theories and they're kind of coming true? You know, like, almost all of them. Like, it's kind of blown me away how much I've learned about shit. Like, say, cloud seeding or weather manipulation. That was always a conspiracy theory. Chemtrails. It's all true.
Yeah.
Well, but here's the thing. So what it is you're not hearing it from the mainstream press. I mean, there are people who may have some inside knowledge, or they've played the inside baseball enough to know, or maybe they get some sort of perspective on it. Similar to, like, Alex Jones. I think Alex Jones, he's been in actual media before, and so he's been close to some of the more powerful figures in politics and stuff like that. So he probably does have some knowledge that he is able to, you know, sift through some of this information and be able to understand what they're actually doing with some of their, you know, political power and stuff like that. But I mean, he just comes off as crazy because, you know, of his antics, and I think that's more of a character. But I think that some of the ideas he presents are just from his perspective of knowing sort of the politic game and being able to use his own influence and his own understanding of everything to be able to glean some of that information and present it to people. He just comes off as looking like a crackpot because he says crazy things like, "Oh yeah, you know, they're gonna be putting you know, chips in your brain now." Actually, if you look at it, there is a potential, you know, chip that you could put in your brain. It's some of this stuff is real.
I think it's a purposeful release, like a controlled release, to discredit your own grip on reality. Because you're like, well, I heard about this shit that was a myth. Like, you were just a paranoid nutcase. It doesn't matter where it came from. But yeah, usually it starts off in the alt media or something that's not in the mainstream. But as it kind of self-propagates and people start kind of going, well, actually, then it, like, gets completely corrupted. It's like, well, it's too crazy. Like, every other source is saying that's false and it's a conspiracy theory. So it's like a way to sabotage the truth by presenting it and saying, oh, this truth is so crazy, but there's no way it could be real. It's just too conspiratorial. It's crazy. But that's how we can kind of deal with it and not do anything about it and expect it to happen again and again. And, like, I totally believe it's going to be another COVID in July. And I would totally believe people are going to come for me and knock on my door because I'm not vaccinated. And there's been laws changing here. Apparently, as of July, you won't be able to leave the house unless you've had your booster if a lockdown is declared. And that's in like an amendment to the vaccine mandates and the local laws here. And that's not in the media at all. Is that a conspiracy theory?
I mean, I don't consider anything not in the media to be conspiracy theory, because if we had to look at it that way, then there's like half of reality is a conspiracy theory at that point. But what I think it is that there's there's certain narratives that they want driven, and what you're saying, I get what you're saying, is that like being gaslit into essentially thinking that you're crazy, and obviously that is a conspiracy theory, and it presents itself as so crazy that your natural mind wouldn't think like, oh no, they wouldn't do this. Like they wouldn't lock us down for a virus with a 99% survival rate based on all the numbers. um but they did. And what I'm getting at is like, I just drew from what I know about human nature and what I was able to understand about the world around me, that in this case, like they were going to take power. Like when people are out to seek power, which is what the entire COVID situation was, is a massive power grab. They want to consolidate that power, and they want to accumulate as much power as possible. And by basically saying, "Hey, it's a massive emergency. Uh, grandma might one person's grandma might die, so we have to shut everything down." When people are talking that severe about it, I know instantly that what their goals and their intentions are. It's not necessarily up for, it's not a conspiracy to me at that point. I could already see, okay, I see where this is going. I see where this is going. Maybe it's just a cynic in me, but I can maybe it's just my cynical nature, but I see some of the stuff coming ahead of time. Not like I'm not saying I'm a prophet or I'm like premonition, like some kind of premonition, but I think that there is some sort of forward thinking in myself that I don't know if anybody else, just accepts the world around them, but I do kind of see some of those things coming ahead. Like, oh, they want to power grab, and then they're gonna say like, hey, there's emergencies, and they'll want to power grab into oblivion to lock you down in your home for no reason.
It's a really sobering way to put it as well, because you're kind of seeing it from the people that can't come to terms with everything changing, like the whole familiarity they have with being governed and being a citizen. Like all of it's changing, and because they can't come to terms with it, they're just going through the path of least resistance for protecting their own ego. Yeah, I'm finding it. I'm struggling, like knowing that it's going to get worse, and I've got to like really make a whole bunch of decisions to like invert my life in a way, to like stop waiting for things to get better, because they're not. So I've got to make it better for myself somehow. And that really, like, it's literally like learning to fly again in a way.
And this is, I think this goes back to like what you're saying, Gabriel. I think that goes back to kind of what I was talking about with Pig, of like like the boomer generation having the blame, but for the wrong reasons of what like the modern generation would put on like boomers. But it's because they didn't have that forward thinking of like, okay, if we do these certain things, if we allow this sort of like consolidation of power, if we do all these things, is it going to impact our children at any point in time? And none of them seem to consider that at all. A lot of it, seemed to go over their head of like being able to think of like, what should the world be centered around, and how should we shape the world for tomorrow? It was a lot of current thinking, and I think that's what everyone is trapped in nowadays. Is like moment to moment thinking of just what am I doing right now, and or what am I doing today. They're not thinking about at all about what is this going to look like in 10 years.
Yep, true. Yeah, like I totally agree with that. They've kind of just enjoyed the fruits of post-war. Baby boomers that literally had a whole generation be born in huge numbers because the war was over. So they made lots of children, and they're like, oh, we're going to have our white picket fence, but then they wanted like 10 of them. Bought heaps of investment properties, at least here. Like the boomer generations enjoyed the fruits of Australia's best time, and it's turned so bad so quick that even boomers are kind of scared, and because they're all older and becoming less of a voting base. I don't think the politicians know what to do here because they've always just kowtowed to the boomers, like, oh, we'll reduce your investment property tax. We'll, like target aged care and make sure that you got a minimum standard of care because it's really bad here. They just, people dump their boomer parents or grandparents in an aged care house and then they just die. And, with the COVID stuff, they weren't even allowed to go in when it was going on. But anyway, this is depressing. Thanks for having me on for a bit.
Yeah, well, so here's the good, so if you kind of want to hear more of a good perspective of it, Gabriel, and I don't know, I've taken the white pill. I mean, I know you're in a place where it's kind of hard to take the white pill in this situation, but you know, especially for me in my position in what I'm trying to do is like those, my two kids in there, they're going to be grow up in this from this perspective of what I'm going to try to bring to the table of like, hey, you know you should value your personal liberty, things of this nature, teaching them those lessons, teaching them life lessons, and passing that on to an entire generation, just my two kids, but then they hopefully they spread it to other kids as well, of these ideas of like, oh well, you should have free, personal freedom, personal liberty, and be able to an extent, of course, but you be able to have your personal freedoms and be able to do things that justify what would constitute a good life for you. And I think that for every person who can do that, and there's a lot of people who are about that kind of mentality more and more so now. I think honestly, I think what you have to look forward to, Gabriel, is there's a lot of people who are going to take the white pill, and they're gonna take the red pill probably, which is basically a white pill for me, because the the whole generation is going to see what this government tyranny and all these things have done to an entire generation of kids. They're going to say no. Like these kids that are growing up now, they're going to say, look at what my parents let happen to me. They let them mask me. They let them do all this stuff. And then essentially they're just going to say, look, I'm going to have a better world, and they're going to do it themselves.
Yeah, and look, it is a white pill when I hear people speak to that like you, and like never people that are having kids and want to raise them right. Like the act of raising children, having children, is like a big fuck you to the world as it is, and that's realistically how you'll change the future, and through the next generations and stuff. So that's good. And on the nice white pill that you gave me, I'm going to make another coffee. And thanks for having me on for a little bit.
Thanks for joining in, dude.
For...
Apparently people prefer listening to you than me, because start joining when I shut the fuck up. So,
no.
you know. Yeah, I think the best pill for me is cyanide. That's literally the best pill. Ooh.
Cyanide and happiness.
Yep, cyanide with a bit of fucking... with sweetener. I don't know. My name is Sadat because it's no name. Because I'm a nameless motherfucker. But yeah, so I never understood that whole fucking pill shit. To be, I've been talking like through it and stuff, sort of, I guess, passing by as someone who kind of could possibly understand that, but I honestly have no fucking idea like about anything. So like you said, the black pill is negative future, white pill is positive future. What's a red pill? What's a blue pill? Is that like a thing that comes as a reference for the Matrix? Oh, okay.
Yeah. So essentially people who take the blue pill are like the people who or it could be the horse pills, like dude on the web says. But the people who take the blue pill are people who kind of, like you said, they just do the current thing. They want to shut their brain off. Think the people who just like always look down at their phone. They don't interact with the world around them. They just want to be shut down, do the current thing, and go about their lives. They're like the NPCs. Like the blue pilled people are the NPCs of our
Mm.
red pill people are essentially people who understand, a lot of the reality of the world around them, and they can be able to, think for themselves. That's essentially what it is. Kind of like from the Matrix. He freed himself from the world. He could think for himself and manipulate the world to his whim. That's what taking the red pill would be. And like I said, the black pill is the idea. People who are black pilled essentially just think that the world is going to be crap. It's going to just go
Oh,
to the
yep.
worst thing.
Guilty. Hello.
Basically it's the doomer. Like if you're just a doomer, then
Yep.
you're black pilled.
I do like Doom.
But I mean, Doom is good, but if you
I like
just think
Doom,
that
the game.
everything
I like
seems-
Doom, the music. I like Doom in general. So yeah, I'd say I'm a Doomer, pretty much. Yep, I'm a black pill Doomer. That's right. I think it's all gonna go to shit. Never gonna be better. And everyone's gonna fucking suffer. I mean, I know. I don't mean that like literally, because I know that you got kids and stuff, and that shit probably hurts the fucking here. So I mean, I don't know, man. Like my stance on this whole thing is that I want the world to be better. I want the world to be a better place. I hope that like kids have a better fucking future in the world without like a bunch of predatory behavior from companies, from abusing pieces of shit, etc., etc.
Yeah, I mean, and that only happens when like I was saying, kind of like the boomers.
People need to wake up, man.
Like we need to like stand up and basically say,
like the whole.
And then that's part of what I was saying. Like the reason that I'm white pill, the reason that I'm optimistic is the fact that I'm saying, okay, I'm gonna say no to all of this, and I'm just gonna teach my kids to know the world, the corporate, corporations, the big media, all this stuff. They don't have to control you. They don't have to run your life, and you can just shut it all down and be able to think for yourself and be a free thinking individual. And being able to teach, if I can teach them that, I don't know, that's a hard task. I mean, it was hard for me to learn to just kind of like, hey, be able to be aware of everything and understand how crappy things actually were.
I think for the world to improve, this woke movement bullshit needs to stop, because the woke motherfuckers are the most sleeping ones. That's the reality. Because they're the ones that like,
yeah.
Or maybe the definition that I've perceived as like the woke mofos has been sort of shifted to what I see nowadays as being described as the woke mofos, because they're typically like the libs of TikTok, like those individuals and stuff. That's what I consider to be the wokes nowadays. Like a bunch of sort of trans or gay or whatever teachers trying to sort of push the narrative onto the kids and stuff when it's none of their goddamn business. There was a video of like a grandfather who went to approach a teacher about them putting a dress on the kid. And he was not happy with that shit. And he was like, why did you put a dress on my kid? Why did you put a dress on my son? You know what I mean? It's like, he was not happy about that shit. And it's like, these quote unquote woke mofos will consider it to be sort of bigoted behavior, but I don't think it is. I think it's like, what's wrong with the person not wanting their kid to have freaking dresses put on them by the school? It's none of the school's business, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, and that's what a lot of people are arguing, but the people, like you're saying, they're so blue pilled, like they're so like woke mofos that they can't turn it off. Like they don't know how to like you. I don't know if you can do this, but for me, I can be able to control how speak with certain types of people, because there's certain people you can't say certain things around. You can't do certain things around. It's like a social awareness, right?
Mhm.
But these kind of people, they don't care. Like they don't care what you believe. They don't care. They will do whatever is the woke thing, and that's all they're gonna do. They're gonna do it. They're gonna make your kid wear a dress, and they're gonna like get mad at you when you're outraged about it. When if you come and you say, "Hey, my son's a boy," um, it's even kind of like just in general. I was saying something like, "Hey," like telling my son, like, "Hey, um, like you don't need Barbies, or whatever." Like he was, he kind of looks at stuff and he's just like, "Oh, that looks cool, like a
Oh yeah,
car, Barbie
listen,
car or
nothing.
something like that."
Honestly, dude,
And I'm
nothing
like,
wrong with that shit. Like when I was a kid, I loved fucking diaries, and it
yeah,
was kind of. I mean, where like most dudes wanted to play with. I didn't like Action Man figures. I didn't like the big like muscly dudes or whatever. What I liked the most was like writing shit down, fucking diaries and notebooks and things like that. Uh, and again, like most kids my age, all they wanted to do was play with like the Action Mans and like the big muscly action figures and stuff. I was like, yeah, I'm not really interested in that stuff. I did watch Action Man and whatnot, but like, yeah, it wasn't my biggest interest or anything. Uh, so yeah, there's nothing wrong with like a kid playing with. I actually played a fucking Barbie video game when I was a kid on PlayStation 1. It's like a it's like a fucking horse riding Barbie game. But you also have to understand, like, we didn't have the ability to buy games by snapping our fingers. We actually had to, you know,
go to
share
the
games with
store
each
and
other and stuff. So it was
yeah,
a game from my neighbor, and she borrowed it to me, and borrowed another game to her, like Crash Bandicoot or some shit. And yeah, I played Barbie when I was a kid. It didn't make me any less of a man. Um, it's just kids are curious. Kids want to explore. The problem
yeah,
also
but
is that
like
they
if
so
you can't tell them though, like the what some people think though is that you can't like redirect them, like because I'll just tell them like, "Oh no, that's a normally a girl toy, like you probably won't like it," and I just tell them that, like I'm just like, "You probably won't like it, like it's a girl toy, like you probably won't like that," and he's like, "Okay," and he finds something else, like he finds like a dump truck or something like that. He finds something else to play with. I mean, there's a lot of other things that he could be interested in, but just redirect it. Even doing that, might get you looks from people. Like, hey, like, why is he telling him he can't? Why is he telling his son that they don't play with girl toys? Like I'm just telling him what you know. I'm giving him a perception of the world,
you're disciplining your kid
to look
as a
for.
parent is a crazy concept these
Yeah,
days. Um, right. So I mean, in my opinion, I think kids and teenagers will just follow through whatever is popular. I used to do that when I was a kid. Of course, I got into metal very young, so it's kind of different. Because not because I'm not saying metalheads have to be like rejects of society or anything, but the reality is that the majority of them are. And when I started sort of going through the metal scene and all that stuff, I started sort of drifting away from popularity and things that were popular, etc. But when I was a kid, dude, Spice Girls were fucking all over the place, and I had Spice Girls fucking glass cups for water and stuff. Um, and fucking an Expo 96 or 97 or 98 opened
in
up
sync.
in Lisbon,
Backstreet Boys
and
were,
no.
like NSYNC and Backstreet Boys were during my generation, so I grew up with them, and I liked, I liked the Backstreet Boys, like when I was really young. It was like, hey, these guys can sing. I didn't know any better. I'm just like, hey,
Yeah,
these guys sing this song, bye bye bye. It's like, hey, it has a pretty good ring to it. I don't know any better. Like I was just a kid.
yeah. So it's just how it's gonna be for kids for the most part. they're just gonna like whatever it is that's liked the most for the majority of the world. It's like the majority of kids that are like 25 below, they're all into fucking mumble rap because that's what they grew up listening to. That's what was all over the fucking place and shit. So they're all gonna be like into mumble rap and stuff, which personally I'm not too keen on. I do like my rap. I do like old school stuff for the most part. Public Enemy, NWA, that kind of stuff. I do like that, but this newer shit of this fucking mumble rap bullshit, it's just like really fucking bad, dude. It's so dog shit. There's no lyrics, there's no musicality to it. The rhythm's bullshit. It's just really garbage in general.
It's just a lot of bass, 808s,
yeah,
and
but
it
is kind of promoting it is kind of promoting what, in my opinion, is meant to be the mentality these days, which is to dumbify people, to fucking make them want weed, get high on weed so that they can fucking use their brains properly, get them to be lazy as fuck, get them to have face tattoos so they can't fucking get jobs, so they have to live on benefits and shit and be at the mercy of their governments and whatever. I'm really stretching this, by the way, but like to an extent, I think I'm not that wrong.
No, I mean, I don't think you're wrong. I think that the government, especially, like they benefit from people being dumb, and it does help that engineering something that popular and that dumbs down the generation to a degree.
Yeah,
that's what it just helps the government and helps them to be able to enact what they want. And it's kind of like I don't know if you listen to Hobson at all. He makes this. There's a song, "Ill Mind of Hobson 5," and it's a great representation of like what he's what you're talking about. Like he's like, yeah, like your brain cells rotten from weed. Like you want to you think life is just partying and drinking, stuff like this. Like that's all it is. But you don't even have skills in your life. Like you're almost 30 and you have no skills in your life. Stuff like that. Like he's talking about real stuff. And this is like what rap, like used to be, like talking about real things. But now,
yeah,
like the mumble rap, it's like it's the opposite.
I think like that's spot on. I think like rap used to be speaking about issues and problems in people's lives. Like Public Enemy talked about a lot about oppression and stuff because they started their stuff during that time. They're like one of the first rap groups to gain like worldwide popularity and stuff. And then you had all the other groups like popping in and talking about their shitty lives and the shitty neighborhoods and stuff. And then eventually they like get picked up by labels and stuff. And then they have a lifestyle of riches and stuff. Kind of like Eminem and whatnot. Because Eminem also had the quirkiness of being white and being a rapper and being good at what he did. But yeah, I mean, nowadays all it is, it's literally just promote being lazy. Like they're so lazy, they don't even pronounce their fucking lyrics properly, which I bet they don't even write. And their lyrics is Gucci gang for 3 days and a half. Gucci gang. Wow, you're such a good fucking musician, dude. Crazy.
This sounds awesome.
Yeah,
and it would sound better if you weren't talking and I was just listening to the beat, probably.
It's what the kids want to listen, and it's what the games then sort of like start promoting, and they do things with Roblox and shit so that it is even pushed more to the kids, like Kanye West and fucking that kid, little dipshit, I don't know his name. But they
found his mom's.
No. I'm talking about the music video they did with like the Roblox characters and shit.
Oh yeah, that was dumb.
Yeah.
So
And they're doing this. They know that it's the kids that are listening to this shit, because adults have better fucking standards. Well, for the most part, there's sometimes videos on the fucking internet of like 30-year-olds and shit who are like fans of mumble rap. They completely let themselves go. It's insane. Full on face tattoos all over the place. And you know what? I don't know if you ever listened to Your Mom's Podcast or Your Mom's House Podcast. but they had an episode with Shaggy to Dope from Insane Clown Posse, and they were showing like fans of the group that tattooed their face with the face paint they use, with like the layout of the face paint they use. And this guy literally tattooed Violent J's fucking paint or face paint into their face, literally tattooed it. Like, you understand, the artists have face paint. It's just paint that it comes off when they have to do their lives and stuff.
Yeah, it's not actually on their face permanently.
Yeah. So then the dude started to TikTok and shit and started like sort of showing his progress of trying to get rid of the fucking tattoos. And it's just, he says he's been miserable since that shit. Well, no wonder, dude. No wonder. Who the fuck even tattoos like that kind of stuff? And it's just weird. It's just weird. It's literal fanatic behavior.
Yeah, it's like, but it is the dumbing down of society, and it for as someone who does, you know, I like to think that I'm a free thinking, you know, human being, and just in doing that, sometimes, you know, you question whether or not you're free thinking, because like it's like, hey, I agree with certain opinions, and there is a group of people who agree with those opinions, and it does seem to look like you're part of the hive mind too. But overall, people are just dumbed down because they can't see past level one of any particular topic. Like they can't look at anything past the basics of it at all.
Yeah, that's true.
You know,
so you're saying like they're
they,
not really pushed to thinking any further than the layer of like surface,
yeah,
I guess.
Yeah, like surface level thinking, and that's pretty much it. Like I think that there are multiple layers to, like, levels to thinking, and there's like, like tier 5 is like Nostradamus level, like genius,
Mm.
like and then there's people who are somewhat smart, and they're articulate, they just don't have that level 5 thinking. But then there's like the midwits who kind of think they're smart, but they're not actually smart, kind of like what you were talking about on social media, people
Kind of like
who
me.
spread it. Well, I mean, like you were saying, like people who just go out and act like they're smart about something, like oh, like, yeah, so I know that if you mix these three ingredients together, you can make this make this thing or something, like just like they make up stuff, and they act like it's reality, and then but they're not really smart people.
Yeah, my biggest
they do
issue
it because they appear smart.
Yeah, my biggest issue is that's basically my biggest issue with those people. It's just like they're just promoting shit that's not real, and they're just doing a lot of things just like essentially prejudicial for others. And at the end of the day, there's a lot of people. It's just like fucking Instagram influencers and all that shit. Like they're absolutely liars. Like a lot of them are fucking liars. The amount of stories that I've seen of like Instagram influencers who are literally just like taking pictures in sets. There's sets in LA for motherfuckers to take pictures for Instagram that look like you're on a fucking private jet. All it is, it's literally a set. It's just like a bench that looks like it's a bench from a private jet. Like wooden fucking sort of like walls and stuff behind it. And it's all literally, it's just a fucking set. And they take the pictures. They have the whole frame in the picture and stuff. And it looks like they're in a fucking private jet. And these influencers, they have millions of followers, millions of people who think these motherfuckers have private jets and stuff. And all they're doing is promoting products that pay them to say good things about the products anyways. I hate this because it's like, if you want to promote a product, at least know that it's a good product. You're just getting paid to promote a product that might not even be good. You know what I mean? So it's just bullshit.
Yeah, and I mean it's like some of these people who will like run ads of like you know, like Raid Shadow Legends is not a good. I don't think it's a good game, and then people will run ads for it. I'm not gonna play it. Too bad. You know, your crappy, you know, mobile games. I'm not downloading them.
Honestly, I'm not
They're
gonna shit
crappy,
on.
but
I'm not gonna shit on that
well, no,
because
I get why they're doing it for money because they just like, hey, I got an ad, I'll run the ad and I'll make money. I'm not talking about them, but I like if it was me personally, I can't be comfortable shilling a product that I don't even like. You know, I don't know. Maybe it's just more integrity for myself, but it's like you know,
yeah, I don't want to
wouldn't
shit.
be.
I don't want. I'm not gonna shit on Raid simply because there's people who play that legitimately and they like the game. I see what you're saying. Like they spend a lot of money on fucking marketing and like content creators shilling the game and stuff. I get that, but at the end of the day, it's like it's not honestly not the worst because it's still a video game. It works as intended for the most part. You know what I mean? It's not like a product that like a pair of pants or something that like you basically like
Well, let's
you're
say
told that like, oh, this product is awesome because yeah, they're sponsoring me and shit. At the end of the day, they spend like fucking 10K on you to show their shit, and then you buy their products. It's like a face cream or something, and this influencer looks amazing in the pictures because they fucking Photoshop the shit out of their pictures, and then you buy the
yeah.
face cream, and then the face cream is bullshit and gives you like fucking blisters on your face and stuff like that. You know what I mean? That's basically my
Or like they have to recall it later and find out like it gave some women cancer or something like that.
yeah. I mean
Some kind of
that's a
crazy
big
stuff.
stretch, but you know, yeah, that's essentially the point. Like it's not. It's just not. It doesn't have the properties that they claim it has and stuff. You know, so it just ends up being a bunch of bullshit. But because they paid that specific influencer like $10,000, they're gonna promote it. Like, who doesn't want $10,000? Well, people without integrity, they will do anything for fucking $10,000.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's weird. It's a weird fucking world we live in. So,
But yeah. Well,
got about 10 minutes left. What else is I opened this fucking thing like a few like about an hour ago or something. It says the ransomware attacks are part of the cost of doing business. And it says André Nogueira, which is like a Portuguese name. I don't know if this guy's Portuguese or Brazilian, but whatever it is, a Portuguese name, was woken up early one Sunday morning by a phone call telling him that his company, JBS Foods, the world's largest meat supplier, had been hacked. He was given the distressing details. A group of hackers called R Evil, obviously a fucking reference to like Resident Evil or some shit, I would assume.
yeah.
Why are hackers so unoriginal, dude? Like, you're hackers, bro. You're smart as fuck. Like, why are you so unoriginal? You have to call yourselves fucking Lacuna or whatever, or R Evil
Or Lizard Squad.
yeah,
Lizard
what the
Squad.
fuck, man? Anyways, group of hackers called R Evil had gained access to the company's critical infrastructure and was holding it hostage, demanding a ransom of $11 million in Bitcoin. The hack caused JBS to stop production at all of its plants in the United States, as well as some operations in Canada and Australia. The shutdown rippled through the entire supply chain, halting livestock sales and leaving restaurants scrambling to find new temporary suppliers. Though Nogueira told the Wall Street Journal the company was able to restore some access to its systems via encrypted backups, JBS ended up paying out the full ransom to R Evil in order to resume full operations. That's fucked up, man. They say that the hack is exceptional, not simply because of its impact on America's beef supply chain, but because it illustrates that hacks are now part of the cost of doing business. Though the FBI advises companies against paying ransom, many do because the alternative can mean a massive data leak, loss of profits, or worse. 2022 report surveyed over 1,200 security leaders and found that 79% of those had been the target of ransomware attack, and 35% admitted at least one of those attacks led to the loss of access to data and systems. So yeah, I mean, I agree to like ransomware when it's companies that are evil and shit. I don't know if this company is evil or not. They could be a bad company. They could like have a bunch of fucking processed food that's bad for you or whatever. never heard of it. But they have to understand, like, when they're sort of saying that, hey, we're gonna leak your data, there's innocent people there that just want to fucking keep a job. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, and it's like it's not just that. I mean, they're leaking in people's data. Like, there was something about like things like Chegg, where people would just check out books here in America. Like they would be able to check, like you would be able to rent a book from somebody, or buy a book.
Mm.
It was just a textbook selling and renting marketplace, and they got hacked, and there were just a bunch of students, that their information is out there now because of these hackers, and it was like that kind of stuff. It's not really beneficial. It's just kind of wasteful, and it was just to extract data and do all these things, and maybe try to get you to now be involved, and like you to have your data stolen, like have more data stolen. Like maybe now they can get your credit card because they sent you an email, and you're gonna be susceptible to like clicking the link. And a lot of it, it comes down to like uh most of it is just kind of useless. Like why are you hacking this stuff? But something like that critical infrastructure, like that's just gonna be a pain. Like especially like if it's something related to like uh meat processing stuff, that's potentially our food. Like if they shut down like a meat processing plant, then like that's potentially our food uh in short supply for a while.
Yeah, it's messed up, dude. Messed up. And there's a lot of like teenagers and stuff who are doing this kind of shit because they don't have like necessarily the awareness of what they're doing. They just want easy money quickly.
Give Bitcoin.
That might be a little bit of a stretch saying that these guys are teenagers. I have no idea, but like, there's been a lot of shit. Like, for example, I don't know if you remember, there was like a massive hack done to Blizzard, where their servers like were down for hours. I think almost I'm not gonna say almost a day, but yeah, kind of like 6, 7, 8 hours of like server downtime and stuff. A lot of people having issues and whatnot, and they were getting hacked by this particular group. And I think like at least 4 or 5 of that group were like teenagers, like 15, 16, 17-year-old kids. And I think they just don't have the understanding that like you're literally committing a crime that could shove you in jail for like a long fucking time. And your whole, well, their life's probably not going to be ruined. Like if they're good at hacking and shit, they're probably going to be given a job as cybersecurity or something. That's just how it goes at most of the times. I think
most of them are script kiddies, though. Like, I mean, they just get a hold of the good hacks, is what they do. I think a lot of people, a lot of the hackers, quote unquote, are just script kiddies, and they just happen to send it to the right person who actually clicks the link, and then it just happens to work. It's like, oh look, I could get 10,000 free Bitcoin because they bought my hack. Like they actually clicked on the link. Oh, now I have their stuff as ransom. Please give me.
I think that's a little bit of a stretch. I think you're not giving them the credit they deserve, in my opinion. I mean, these kids are smart, and they're smarter. They've been basically like growing up with that shit. It's not like us. We had to sort of, well, I say us, I mean you, but like our generation of millennials, for the most part, we kind of had to be sort of interested from the beginning in something like that. And then while these kids, like some of them were just literally born into a world of hacking tutorials and all kinds of shit, books and whatnot. Like we didn't have the same I remember being like a teenager and I wanted to look for like hacking books and stuff so that I could like sort of start dipping my toes into that stuff. It was so hard to fucking get. So hard to find shit like that because everything was like super rare, basically. Nowadays you don't even need to go on the fucking derp web. You just literally go on the surface web. You look YouTube for hacking books and shit. You literally have like books completed with all the tools for hacking and shit. to brute force things and whatnot. It's just so easy nowadays. And then when you have a lot of time to spend learning that kind of stuff, and you don't really have the understanding that, wow, that could ruin my life, they just do it anyways. So yeah. Anyways, we got 2 minutes, or yeah, about a minute. So how about you tell us where we can find you?
Yeah, so you can find me on Vim, on Hive, and on Twitter and Twitch, all Trey50Daniel on all platforms.
Right on, right on. Yeah, myself, it's pretty much the same. You can find me all over the place at EldritchsPIG. It's literally everything EldritchsPIG. If I have the fucking platform, it's gonna be that name, because all my other names I'm not gonna say, because I'm gonna be anonymous, like fucking calling people a piece of shit and stuff, being a kitty, blah blah blah. I don't know. I'm just fucking trying to make
those
time.
are his troll accounts.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Those are pigs. You have those troll accounts. You're over there replying to Elon Musk with your troll accounts and saying like, "You suck, Elon Musk."
Yeah, yeah.
I hope.
Thanks for joining us. Thanks, Nine. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate it. We'll see you guys on the next week. And so that Ron doesn't fucking come at me with a knife or some shit, we're gonna end now.